Hey guys, Whitefallwolf here, and I'm here today with Kevin. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Well, my name is Kevin Brandt. I'm 16 years old and I currently live in Denmark. I come from Sweden and I don't know what to say. I am pretty much a competitive player. I've been participating in a few European championships and YCSs and
Yeah,
I play as well as I can.
you are one of the few competitive players we have in Denmark. There's if we have like 100 something players, there's around 30 competitive players.
Yeah.
And it's your birthday today.
Yes, it is. I'm 16 years old today, and the first thing I did was to take the Konami judge test, which I managed to succeed.
Well, congratulations and happy birthday.
Thank you for that.
We're gonna talk showdown, which is the largest event we have in Denmark. It's even bigger than our national.
Yeah.
But before we go into that, I'm just gonna show a map over Denmark to my viewers. We have Denmark right here. It's highlighted with dark green, and Sweden is right over here. Germany is down here. Denmark is parted in three huge regions. We have this is Jylland, this is Fyn, and this is Sjælland. Sjælland also contains Copenhagen, our capital. And let's go back to the Skype conversation. And Kevin here is from Fyn.
Yep.
So showdowns over the past years, in Copenhagen, people win most of the showdowns.
Yeah. Well, if I were to say it myself, the Copenhagens are known as being, the most competitive players, always playing meta and stuff, while the other two regions, Jylland and Funen or Fyn, mostly play like rogue decks or tier 2 or not mostly meta decks.
Yeah, it's true. Copenhagen is mostly meta decks, all meta decks, tier 1 decks, closest to. Then there's very few people from Jylland who plays tier 1 decks. It's like maybe 5 persons total. And then we have yeah, and Fyn there's also a few players, such as yourself, most of the times.
Well, every showdown we participated in, I actually only played rogue decks. But this showdown right here, I will actually play a meta deck.
Well, that's good to hear. So let's talk about what is the meta in Fyn right now. Do you guys play meta decks at the moment?
We really don't have a meta in Fyn, but I play a meta deck, but that's pretty much it. Everyone else are playing like rogue decks or for fun decks, or they don't really take the game so seriously. They just play for fun.
Because we have over in Copenhagen, most of the time it's like 5 to 6 mermaids, and it's like 3, 4 fire fist. Then there's 2 windups, I think. I don't really think that deck is good at all.
I think it has potential.
Every time I see it playing against mermaids or fire fist, it's kind of. Dino Rabbit is still a deck in Copenhagen too. And then there's all the random Heretics, Light Sworn. Yeah, so much random. Like you said, rogue decks is really hot.
Yeah. But you don't think wind-ups have potential enough? You don't think they're good?
In all honesty, I don't think it's a tier 1 deck. I think it's really close to tier 2. It's so slow unless they start really good. They have to be like.
I wouldn't call it tier 1. I think that will only go to mermaids and fire fists, but I think the deck will take a spot in top 16 in showdown or 2.
Yeah, if a good player's piloting windups, I think 1 or 2 spots in top 16. It should be said that showdown It's always top 16. We are like 100 players, and it's like 6 or 7 rounds of Swiss. This time around, the Swiss rounds will induce in a world champion qualifier, and then there will be a playoff for the prizes. So what do you think will win showdown? Obviously, fire and water is the most hot right now.
Yeah, it will be one of those two. I mean, mermaids are a really good deck, but I feel it's just way too easy to counter. I mean, there's so many one-card outs against the deck that cripples them completely, like Macrocosmos, Dimension Fissure, Soul Drain, Banish of Radiance, etc. Way too many cards. But Fire Fists are not as easy as counter.
Not if they... I mean, Overworked is a card, but if they play Dino Fist or something like that, then they have the Sabersaurus and all that, and that's unaffected by Overworked. Same goes with the Mermaids. They are easy-sided against, but they kind of side deck to it. Are they main Royal Decrees or side Royal Decrees, or they do main 3 MSTs. They maybe side Dust Tornadoes or Soul Takers for the Banishers or Dwellers. It's still a good deck. It can OTK you on turn 1 or 2 if they start really good. And
it's not so difficult for that deck, but
that's the scariest part of the deck.
But I feel like Fire Fist would be the winner of this event, or probably Dino Fist if anyone pilots that deck.
But do you think
I'm not really that familiar with Denmark's meta, so I can't really say for sure.
Yeah, that's the thing, because the 3 or 4 rounds of the Swiss, you kind of don't know what to face. It could be a random pool. It's just after round 4, you will play meta decks. But
it could be anything.
Yeah, it's last year I played X-Sabers in the first round, and then Karakuri in round 2. It was totally random, but
that's how Denmark's meta is right now.
Yeah, it is.
It's always been, actually. Yeah, thanks to Copenhagen, it is a bit more competitive.
We have the most players playing there as well, so it's good practice every Saturday.
Yeah, I really got like 2 good players to practice with every week. But so I'm kind of jealous of you.
But you go to competitive scenes like YCSs, so that's also something, and you do well for day 1. Most of the time you make day 2, right?
Yeah, but I mostly lose on the bubble or close enough. I haven't really topped any YCSs / European Championships yet, but I made day 2 many times.
Yeah, let's hear about your... what's your kind of status on the game? You have a 2nd place at National in 2010, was it? Or 11? 11, yeah.
Let's see, yeah. So I got 1 top in the National Championship. That was in 2011. I played 6 Samurais at that time.
And you lost the finals to Plant.
I have to admit, I wasn't really a good player at that time. The deck was, to be honest, a little bit of out to play, so I want to say that I topped that event, but that's my personal opinion. But I topped 3 showdowns, all with pretty random decks aside from the last one. The first showdown topped, I managed to go to top 16. I played Fable at that time. It was a time with Disaster Dragons were usually played in Denmark, but I still managed to do well thanks to some side decking choices. Second YCS showdown I topped. I played Relinquished, which is like an ordinary chaos deck, but also plays with Relinquished and Black Illusion Rituals and stuff.
And you used Tour Guide. You used Tour Guide to bring out the Jin guy.
Yeah, Release of Rituals. That was my MVP card because it just stopped so many decks at that time, along with 3 effect failures to protect me from Insector decks. Then the last showdown, that was in September 2012. I played Infinities, where I managed to go to top 4 before losing to the winner windups in the finals.
Yeah, and I actually I did pretty well in Swiss at that time, and then I had to face you in top 16, and I was kind of salty that you top decked the way out of that. I was at a major advantage.
I see. Yeah, it was that monster reborn who just destroyed everything for you.
Yeah,
I apologize for that.
because it was exactly game. I had Great Tornado with 28, and I had 200 life points to your 850 life points, and then that reborn into Void Orchid Dragon for exactly 200 in.
Yeah.
Because although I was at like a plus 11, but all the cards I drew off Max C was MST, Trapstar, Night Beam. So all my back rows was bluff.
Yeah, that was really unlucky.
Yeah, I was a little
But
salty. Normally, I'm not salty about losing. I'm not a sore loser. But for like an hour or so after that, I was kind of salty because I wanted
I
my.
really do understand. I mean, I've also got salty losses, so I really do understand what you mean. I mean, one time I played against locals. I played against a prophecy player.
And now that we talk about prophecies, do you think anyone will play that deck at Showdown?
Well, I know one guy who will, but the deck is currently so really expensive, so I don't think anyone really wants to grab the deck maybe until it actually becomes competitive. Because I realized that High Priestess is going down in price lately.
Fire Fist is also really expensive because of Bear. So how many? You now say Fire Fist will win Showdown, but how many Fire Fists do you actually think will be at Showdown? I'm thinking max 7.
Yeah, really. I
And
mean, it's also a pretty expensive deck, and I mean, I think like no one from Jylland will play it. I mean, someone from Aalborg will probably play that deck.
now I think they will play Mermails. I have a pretty good idea that
Mermaids.
they will play Mermails.
To them, I do, but I don't think anyone from Colling will play that. And well, only one from Free will play Fire Fists. Yeah.
So if you should call out top 16 right now, what decks do you think? What would the deck distribution be?
Oh, let's see. Well, to begin with, mermaids. I think I know 5 of them because it's such a. I mean, many plays that deck, so I would expect a large number of it. Then I do expect Rabbit to top a little, just because it's a cheap but yet good deck. So it may be a favorite.
It has a favorable matchup against Mermaids and Fire Fist. Fire Fist actually has a hard time against Stein Rabbits.
Maybe, I don't know, 2 Fire Fists players and maybe 1 or 2 Winder players, and the rest is like completely random.
Because I'm thinking like there will be maybe 3 or 4 Mermaids, then there will be like 2 Fire Fist, and then there will be like maybe 1 Wind Up, and the rest is kind of Dino Rabbits and something like that. Because I'm really expecting Dino Rabbits to be a Danish meta call for this for Showdown because it's cheap and it's good.
Yeah, I think so too, and because it has a lot of favorable matchups. Microcosmos and Dolga completely wrecks mermaids if they don't have an out against it.
Exactly. And Guaiba is a good card too.
Yeah, making sure that defeating that Bushland. I actually faced a lot of players who, when I attacked my Guaiba into the Lind and especially summon Bushpike, they don't know it misses timing. But remember that, folks. If a Bushpike is summoned as chaining 2 or higher, it will miss timing.
Same goes with.
That's a lot of people who haven't thought about. So if you attack with something like Gorilla and Guaiba into a Bushland, don't summon a Bushpike.
I did that at the YCS Bochum. I used Gorilla a lot to do that trick. Everybody brought out Pike, and I was like, "Yeah, sorry, it misses timing. You can't discard."
I love it.
Made me go into Duella quickly after. Every mermaid, I played like 5 mermaids, and everyone hated the Dweller. Dweller plus Dweller 2 to 3 back rows. It's game.
Yeah.
I can only imagine Dolka with the 2 to 3 back rows against mermaid.
Yeah, it's kind of the same. Dweller is just a little bit better, but weaker.
So
but yeah.
I think we have a pretty good idea of how Showdown will turn out. I will be doing coverage there, so if you're top, Kevin, maybe I can get a deck profile.
Maybe I can do.
Well, I guess
I'm up to that.
I guess that's that. And happy birthday.
fan.